call this City Commission of the City of Pahokee, January the 10th, 2023, to order at 6:12 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation provided by Vice Mayor Claire Mervin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, we come before you again, God, to say thank you. Thank you, God, for this is the day, God, that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. And God, as we come together today, oh God, to discuss the needs of our city, we ask you, oh God, to just help us and lead us and guide us, oh God. God, that you would give us wisdom and understanding. God, for you said in your word, God, in all things, God, to get understanding. So, God, we ask you, oh God, that we can be cultured tonight, be able to hear, oh God, and be able to receive the truth, oh God, in the name of Jesus. God, we bind up every evil spirit, oh God, that try to come up in this place tonight. We bind it up now, God, in the name of Jesus. And God, bless us as we try to, God, move this city forward. In Jesus' name, amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Babb,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Present.
Commissioner Bolden,
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Perez, City Manager,
Here.
City Attorney,
Nearby and here by phone.
Acting City Clerk is present.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff. And thank each of our public for being here this afternoon to participate in our regular scheduled commission meeting this evening. We're going to move right through the agenda as presented. And the first thing on our agenda is the addition of any add-ons on an emergency basis. Also, we're going to approve the agenda. So at this time, City Manager, do we have any add-ons?
None, sir.
Thank you, sir. City Commission, haven't heard the report of the City Manager in reference to any add-ons, which we don't have. What is your pleasure as reference to this agenda? I entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda as presented.
Mayor, I move that we will accept the agenda as read. God.
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly second by Commissioner Bolden for the adoption of the agenda as presented. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez, Mayor Babb.
Yes. Thank you. Motion passed by the unanimous vote. Next on our agenda is public comments, public service announcement, presentation, and proclamation, if any. This is an opportunity for the public to make comments. We ask that each comment be limited to 3 minutes, and when you rise to the podium, please state your name and your address for the record. At this time, City Clerk, do we have any public service or public comments cards completed?
Yes, sir. The first one is from Miss Annie Eiffel.
Good evening, everyone. Annie Eiffel, 303 Runyon Village, Belle Glade, Florida. Many of you know me for Healthier Glaze, but tonight I'm here in a different capacity on behalf of the University of Miami. I just wanted to make sure that the commission and the community know that there is a study that is taking place. They're looking for participants that are interested in participating in the study. They're trying to do some work around brain health. So for those who don't know, there's been a lot of work with FAU and now with the University of Miami. They're trying to look at if there's any disparities in terms of dementia for folks living in rural communities as compared to urban and metropolitan communities. So they're looking for participants ages 60 and above, and those who participate in the study, they will get an opportunity to be compensated for their time And so I did bring some flyers here for those who may be interested, but I want to make sure that you as the commission know that this is something that is happening in the community. That's all I have.
Thank you.
And then I can leave these in the back for those who may be interested in taking one. And there's a contact number and an email address that you can send for more information. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is from Mr. Emilio Perez.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here in reference to the demolition of the house at 647 Baker Point Road, which was bid number 2022-02. As you know, my name is Emilio Perez. I'm the owner of Big Dog Press. We probably have done more demolition for the city of Pahokee than any other company in the area in the several years. Plus, we had done probably half a dozen demos for the city of Pahokee free of charge, zero, no charge to the city, just to help the city keep clean and safe. We had done that in the years. Besides that, we've done over a dozen that we had charged for. On this particular case, on 647 Baker Point Road, I met with the city manager a couple of months before the bid went out, and I told him our big dog, Emilio Perez, was willing to do the demo for free, zero charge to the city. He told me he was going to bring it up to the commissioners. After the bid came out, he told me the commissioners, including the mayor, have decided to go to the process of the bid. Okay? It's incredible to think the city of Pahokee got $70,000 that they paid for that demolition. And instead of taking for free, that was willing to do it for free, as many others that have done in the past. When I submitted my package for the bid proposal, my total price was $67,750. That's what it was. The other bidder was $74,898, a $7,100 increase on the bid. At that time, I talked to Commissioner Juan, Bath, Bolden, and Ms. Barber. Now, Commissioner Perez, because she excused herself, I did spoke with her. I explained to you guys that how was it possible that I received a letter from Ms. Adam disqualifying me from that bidding process. I spoke with your commissioners. The day of December, when was the last commission meeting? Whenever you awarded that, I think it was the 13th of December when you awarded that. That day, I called the city to see if that was going to be on the agenda because I wanted to be here present to put a presentation and explain to you why would the city not allow me to bid on it. They told me that that thing was going to be moved until sometime in January. That was not going to be in the commission meeting for that day. However, SBW, which was the contractor that demolition, they were notified to be here because it was going to be heard. So in this case, I don't blame the city manager. I blame the commissioners, not Juan, because Mr. Gonzalez was the only one that asked questions about it. But I think it's ridiculous for the city to pay $7,100 more than Big Dog, especially when Big Dog was willing to do it for free. This is not about the money. This is just about a sneaky way that this process took place. I guess my time, I got more to say, but my time is up, so.
Thank you.
No, they don't.
Ma'am.
The next one is from Ms. Vanessa McCray.
$71,000.
Good evening, Vanessa McCray, 1376 East Main Street. I'm bringing this to the commission because you hold a contract with the sheriff's office, but my complaint is with the sheriff's office. I have 3 grown sons in Pahokee. The other day I get a phone call. My son says, "Am I being detained?" I said, "What's going on?" He said, "I just got pulled." I said, "Where are you?" He said, "By Sam's in Canal Point." The officer said, "I don't know, it could have been one of these officers." The officer said, "What's your name?" He said, "Why did you pull me?" He said, "Give me your license." My son said, "Why did you pull me?" He said, "Well, you rode past here several times today." Now, I don't know if that's the reason to pull somebody, but I don't think so. My son works in Canal Point and fishes in Canal Point every day. I've got another son. A couple months ago, My granddaughter called, Grandma, they've got my uncle outside my house, the police. I say, okay, I'm on the way. I get there, the officer says, I can't see your tag light. I take my phone, I take a picture of his tag light. I can see it. Third son, he's got a fast, red, loud car. He was pulled 5 times in Pahokee in 2 months. No tickets, nothing. The 5th time he was pulled, right there at Pure, I pulled up, I let my window down. Officer says, well, we just looking for guns and drugs. He didn't have guns or drugs the first time they pulled him, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th. So this is just a verbal complaint, but there will be written complaints. And lastly, justice for Ms. Freeman.
Thank you.
The next one is from Mr. Robert Love.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm glad there ain't no 30 police here tonight waiting on me. I'm glad they don't find out I ain't the one that these people here claim I am. But I'm just like, I'm gonna start here tonight. I ain't gonna get to the ARPA money. I ain't gonna get all the way there. I'm just gonna say Robert Love, West Palm Beach. Y'all know where I'm from. I'm from West Palm Beach, Pahokee, everywhere I could be. When it comes to something like what's going on here tonight. We got somebody in here tonight saying about Pahokee wouldn't even let them do a job for free because they wanted to pay $70,000. Where did that come from? Any of y'all would have let somebody done it free? All y'all would have let somebody done it free, raise your hand. Let me see if the people with y'all. With you.
Mr. Love, address the commission.
I'm addressing y'all. Why y'all didn't do nothing about that? Why y'all didn't want it free? And then here go the other thing, Ms. Perez and Mr. Gonzalez, when y'all got in here with Ms. Bowler, y'all changed the resolution where y'all had to answer questions. Time Bear, Mervin, and Bowling got in here, they changed it back where they can sit up there and don't answer nobody. That need to be changed like yesterday. Because y'all think y'all gonna have somebody come up in here and y'all don't answer no questions, and then when time somebody leave, y'all call them everything but the child of God and talk about how they stand up here and don't love Pahokee. I know I love better Pahokee better than any of y'all, because I wouldn't let a man sit up here that ain't from Pahokee, 5 people that's from Pahokee, fire that lady for nothing. Know why you fired her? Because she be to the table, because she get up and speak up. Y'all got a man sitting up there, gonna be gone, and y'all gonna be sitting y'all behind around here, and people gonna be still pissed off with you, because y'all don't care. I don't know if it's about $1 or the prestige or what y'all got going on. Y'all ain't got to answer my question, because mine gonna get answered on the live. When I go on live, I'm gonna talk about you, like Miss Allen said, I've been talking about her like a dog. Yes, I don't bite my tongue. Don't come up and say, yeah, you've been talking about me, when you know I've been talking about you, because my answer gonna be, yeah, I've been talking about you. The first thing I had to say, I was going to say, Miss Allen, have you ever been arrested for a bad check? Have you ever been arrested for that? But y'all ain't going to answer no questions. But people going to sit up in here and listen at y'all with this BS when y'all come back. Now what y'all going to say about the ARPA money tonight? Is it on the agenda? Nothing y'all going to say. But you sat up in that play meeting the other night and act like it was an ARPA meeting, and somebody was up in there with a big old cowboy hat on like it's a new sheriff in town. But the new sheriff is these people's here. The community. I see people, I watch people attitude. You come in there like you the new sheriff in town. You the new sucker in town. That's what you is. And people gonna recognize, people gonna realize that you is that. Mr. Lucas, I like to call people by their name. I don't just say blah, 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 and then let you figure it out. Mr. Lucas, you the new sucker in this town. And church call you sit up there and so don't say nothing and 5 innocent people that let people know you the sucker. Sad, very sad.
The next one is from Mr. Joshua Brown.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Joshua Brown, 38557 North 86th Street, Pahokee, Florida. I'm probably other than that young man that's sitting right there, I'm probably the youngest one that is in this room tonight, other than my classmate, that's the clerk. And so, what I want to do is I want to encourage my community. I wish that a lot of us can come together when good things are going on in the city. When progression is going on in the city, I wish that we can rally like we rally when something is going on that we feel like is not going the way that we want it to go. And I came tonight only because I was not able to make it to the town hall meeting because I was at work. But I watched it. I was very disappointed. And I know that everybody's not going to agree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Everybody deserves respect. I don't care whether you agree with me, whether you don't agree with me. Everybody deserves respect because I won't disrespect any one of you all. And so what I'm going to say is, if I were one of those individuals that sit behind that dais, and if some of you talk to me the way that you all talk to them, I mean, I wouldn't give you an answer either. Because there is a certain way that you do everything. And everything shall be done decent and in order. And I'm sure that if you go to them in a respectful manner, you may get the answer that you're looking for, but you're not going to get it telling someone that you're calling them out their names and doing different things like that. Every single thing that we do, adults, should be done decent and done in order. And to the dais, I want to say thank you to you all for the progression that has taken place in Pahokee, because I have seen changes. My business was on Barfield Highway, and I do see a difference, even though I'm not there anymore. But I ride by there, and I see the progression. I see the things that are going on. And one thing about it is, if we want to help them, we need to get out and tell our community to help keep the community clean. We want to keep our canals clean. Let's tell our children to stop dumping, and let's go and grab the stuff out of there ourselves and help keep it clean so the city is not spending money that we say that we don't need to spend. So I want to say to you all, thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, if you all don't like what they're doing, do the same thing that some of them did the last time. You can go down to the courtroom, you can go pull an order, and if you don't like what they're doing, you can get rid of them. But my thing is, if you're not going to do anything about it, and you're not going to come to the commission meetings on a regular basis and let your voice be heard, don't just come when problems are going on. Good afternoon, and thank you.
The next one is from Mr. Sam McKinstry.
Mr. Love.
Mr. Sam McKinstry.
Mr. Love.
Sam McKinstry, 371 East Main Street. I want to ask the same questions I asked at the town hall meeting, a couple more, and I want some answers tonight. Why are we using ARPA money to pay the sheriff's office if our finances are in order? Are we moving ARPA money into the general fund that we can pilfer out of it? Is that what that is? Certainly looks that way to us. I'm going to add this question. I want to know the update and the status on the FDEP at the marina. We got till April 23rd, according to the city manager. We got to come up with a whole bunch of money to fix those docks. Where's that money coming from? How are we getting it? Is that what we're trying to do? Cover up what we stole last time? That's why we're not getting any money. We hadn't gotten any in 3 years from the Florida state legislation. They know we steal. So somebody's going to answer for that. And you're looking at him right over there, and she's right back there too, because she ignored 9 months of warnings from Florida Department of Environmental Protection. I've got every piece of correspondence, every bit of it. Every bit of it. The $3,000 a day fines, Mr. Lucas, haven't gone anywhere. You just begged for a 90-day extension. That's all. That's the facts. How you gonna cover that $3,000? That's what I want to know, and I want an answer tonight. I still got a minute 26.
Y'all see this one? Y'all see this? This how your city being ran, like it woman. No. This how your city being ran. This how it's being ran.
Are you done with your comments?
I still got a minute 5.
I'm asking you, are you done with your comments?
No, I'm not. I'm waiting on an answer.
They wait till the time ticket. Y'all wrong for that. Y'all sit up there and won't answer.
Ma'am, you out of order.
I'm still just waiting on
You
an
out of
answer.
order.
Well, then, I got some more questions, and then I got 46 seconds. I can get it. I squeeze another one in. What was another one that I had? why are we trying to use ARPA money on things that don't belong to the state? I mean, that belong to the city. That's not city infrastructure, that's state-owned property. We can't do that. I'm still gonna get the written opinion of the lawyer that the mayor there asked. So, I would definitely like to see that opinion to go against a for real lawyer, see what they say, a constitutional lawyer. Cause no, you can't do that. That don't belong to us. All you're doing is trying to put a Band-Aid on a hand that's been cut off because you got caught with a cookie jar.
Come on now.
The next one is from Miss Barbara Brown.
If anyone talking, you're out of order. You're out of order if anyone talking.
Barbara Brown, 1535 South Jordan Boulevard. What I wanted to know is every time money becomes available, why y'all always trying to do the same part? Our kids in Citizen Village deserve a part. We all the way out in the middle of nowhere, and they don't have anywhere to go but in the road to play. Never had a basketball court. Never. Only had one little strip of land that fits one little swing with like three seats in it at Ford Park. That's all they had, and that was years ago. Another thing, I want to know when are they coming to fix the sidewalk? I fell on them sidewalks 4 times in front of my house. My knees still skinked up. So when are they coming to fix them? Another thing, they came out there and when they did the water things, they put all the pipes in the ground. They took way more off of our land on our side than my neighbors back there. They took way more of my land than they did theirs. But Miss Ellie Van and a couple of more, none of those got their doors back on their back gate. They put the fences up, but they forgot to put their doors back on them. And I want to know if that's going to be corrected. You know, I just think, you know, it don't make no sense to me. It really don't. I asked years ago, I thought that we needed a crossing guard. Because I see those kids in the morning trying to cross the road to go to school. And them big trucks speed up. But who cares about that? Don't look like nobody. Don't look like nobody. That's a major highway. You know, I even think a red light need to be there. Even the way they let the grass grow up there, we have to pull out in the highway in order to see what's coming to pull out there to go home. You know, it's just a lot of problems, and they really need to be corrected. They really need to be corrected. And that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to speak on. Thank you.
Mayor Bab, we received one
Any
after.
additional comments?
We have one more, but it was after. You do want to still take it?
Can't hear you.
It was after, but you want to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Thelma Freeman?
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to say I am respectful to everyone that's in here. So as far as being disrespectful, I am respectful. My question is to Mr. Lucas. On December the 13th, I had a complaint about the cemetery. You guys fixed that for me and the city. I appreciate that because it's not just for me, it's for the Pahokee residents. Okay, on January the 5th, I have a complaint about the opera money and the application. That was January the 5th. Now, on January the 9th, my supervisor called me and I was at the doctor's office. And from higher up, they said I was fired. I was terminated. I could no longer work at the city. Remind you, I'm a senior citizen that's raising 4 grandchildren. That's one of them right there. It was no reason for me to get fired. I feel that strongly. Because after all, I do have my freedom of speech. That was done directly when I wasn't on the clock or working. Everything that I do it publicly. I don't hide behind phones or anything. I give back to my community every month. I give out food every month. From 9 o'clock this morning, I've been giving out food from Belgrade, South Bay, and Pahokee every month. And it doesn't make any sense. So my question is to you, Mr. Lucas, why was I fired? It's no reason to sit there when we're here to discuss things. That's why the animosity, that's why the anger, that's why the frustration comes up, because here it is now. I'm being cordial, I'm being pleasant, and I'm asking the question, and you can sit there like a stump on the log with no answers. My question is to you, a senior citizen that's raising grandkids, why was I fired? Why was I fired?
He can't tell you.
What's the reason for the meeting if you can't answer my questions? I was fired. I was fired yesterday. My supervisor told me, higher up fired me. Only because I was speaking out on December the 13th and January the 5th. They no longer want me here at the city of Pahokee. Why was that? I'm a senior citizen. I have my rights. Freedom of speech, first of all. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm asking you a question, not being disrespectful with no one up there. I just want answers. It doesn't make sense. How are we going to move forward when you guys sit there like a stump on a log and not answer anything? Don't you think that's frustrating with me when I got to provide for 4 of my grandkids? That's income for me and my grandkids. And you could just take that away just like that? For me being vocal on December 13th and January the 5th, then January the 9th, I'm fired. It's crazy.
And then they said, there's nobody.
Mr. Love, you out of order.
They said, y'all nobody.
I'm gonna ask this community and the residents to be respectful. We talk about answering questions. 99.9% of all commissions that I'm aware of don't ask or don't answer questions during commission meetings. We are not prohibited from answering any questions. If any commissioner up here feel a need to respond to any question, they have that freedom to do so, even the city manager. But the commission meeting is really designed to take care of the agenda items on the agenda so we can move forward with our work. But I would encourage anyone who want to answer any question, they have that right. Speaking out, being disrupted, you're out of order when you do that. I'm asking you, and I'm not gonna say we acting like children, but I'm gonna use the first analysis is look at if your child speak out in school, would you be disappointed with their action? In church, do we speak out? I'm speaking though. I'm not asking. I'm not acting. I'm just saying. I'm using that as analysis. In court, you can't speak out. So what I'm just saying, just be respectful. Just be respectful for the process of this commission in conducting our business. Allow us to do that. We're going to be using as many town halls meetings as possible to answer public questions when they come arrive. I would encourage our city manager when questions come before you to answer those some means, whether it's on our social media page or some response at our next meeting. But I do agree, we shouldn't allow questions to be asked and not answer any of them. So we need to work on that. We need to find a way that we can do both, conduct our business and at least try to answer as many of these questions as possible.
Can
We'll
one commissioner answer the question, why was the city willing to pay $74,000 if I was willing to do it for free?
Yes.
Commissioners?
Commissioner speak.
Mayor, Commissioner Baldwin, or Marvin?
If any commissioner, I'll answer that for myself.
Yes, sir.
If I knew personally that someone had offered to do something free, and it was saving the city that amount of money, I certainly would have been in favor of it. And no one asked for my advice or my opinion. So if there was a collected decision by a commission, it wasn't done in a commission meeting or in a public setting. I'm not saying he may have surveyed commissioner, I'm not sure, but I wasn't surveyed. I'm just answering that briefly. If anyone else, I think Mr. Gonzalez wanted to at least answer a question.
I want to address two different things, Ms. Freeman and Mr. Perez. What Ms. Freeman is going through right now, I see what they did to her was wrong. To me, it looks like it's obvious it's retaliation. It's in violation of her rights. I want to know what the reason is for why she was terminated. I want to know, because this looks so obvious, and she has not done nothing wrong. Was she written up for insubordination or anything? No. Was she warned for anything previously?
I wouldn't even know where she works at, sir.
So who's the one that terminated her? I mean, seriously, who terminated her?
Who's your supervisor?
I disagree with this. Who terminated her?
Who's your supervisor?
Mr. Williams there right there. Mr. Williams.
Is he here?
Mr. Williams, can you come in, please?
Greg Williams is here?
We're getting a little too deep. We shouldn't be going right now.
It was him? It was him?
Who's your boss?
He's saying it was Lucas.
See there? There it is, right there.
You want me to say something, I say something, but he's my boss.
Who ordered you to terminate her?
And I'm your manager's boss. So as your boss, I'm asking you
Yes.
to ask
Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams.
fire him. And you
Mr.
don't
Williams.
know.
Mr.
As
Williams.
your supervisor, I'd like to know what happened.
Who gave you the order to terminate her? Who gave you the order to terminate her? Mr. Williams. Who gave you the order to terminate her?
Commissioner Gonzalez, at this point, we're gonna move on with the agenda. We're moving in items outside of our agenda. We're moving in items outside our agenda.
This is not fair. It's not fair.
This is a violation. If I were you, see an attorney. Get yourself an attorney. I will back you up on this. This is not right.
If you're speaking out of order. No one has been ordered to speak or asked to speak at this point. I had Mr. Gonzalez, Commissioner Gonzalez was given an opportunity to ask the question he wanted to ask or answer something he wanted to answer. If Commissioner Perez wanted to make a comment, then she needs to be acknowledged, and we'll allow her to do that. But we're not gonna begin to have a trial conducted. There's certain things, I mean, with personnel, manners, at some point that can be public, but right now, at this particular meeting, we're not gonna go into that. It's not part of our agenda. I'm sorry.
It's all about why. Why? Why?
I understand, I agree, something like that, you should have an answer. I don't deny that. And at some point, I hope and pray that you do get the answer you're looking for in that. But right now, we're gonna move on with our agenda. I work very hard to make sure these meetings was live streamed. And it's been a little embarrassment at times because of the way we conduct ourselves in public, and people are noticing that. I mean, it's a flip on the coin too, because the difficulty we had in the last year, had it not been for live streaming, a majority of the public wouldn't have known what was going on and how things were being handled in the city. But I'm asking you, please be orderly and speak when you have the opportunity to speak.
Can I ask a question?
Am I going to be able to speak or what?
If you had we was in public comment. There was some question asked from the public that wasn't answered. Normally, commissioners don't ask or answer questions, but I would also give you an opportunity, if you wanted to answer a question that was asked, you do have that right. And if you have an answer for any question that was asked at this time, you can do that if you would like to.
Okay, what I'm gonna tell you is, how am I gonna have the answer? How am I gonna have the answer when the same person that was fired do not have the answer? Okay, that's number one. That's number one, okay? We speak about transparency. And you talk about we're live streaming and how embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It should be embarrassing for us sitting up here, for the stuff that we're doing, that we continue to do.
All right, are you answering a question or making a statement?
I am making a statement,
Okay.
but I'd like to ask the city manager to explain to me why Ms. Freeman was fired.
Okay.
That's a question.
And I answered, I do not know. I've only seen Ms. Freeman at several meetings. I have no input in her day-to-day operations.
Okay.
Now, the AARP is a separate thing from the city, so I have to investigate, ma'am.
You have to investigate. Can you call a supervisor in for him to give the explanation? Because he said it was from higher up. Who's higher than him? He said you're his boss.
I still have to investigate it.
Okay. Mr. Love,
No. Mayor Barr,
we're moving, even commissioners saying that we need to stick with the
Listen to Commissioner
agenda.
Morgan. She's trying to tell you how to run the meeting. Always listen to Commissioner Morgan, because she runs it.
You out,
She runs this.
Commissioner Perez,
So
you
that
out
you
of
know.
order.
here, I'm finna address Ms.
Yeah,
Freeman.
so-
She talking about something different.
have here a failure to communicate.
First of all, let me correct this. Mayor Barr, point of order. First of all, I don't know what Ms. Freeman, Alpha just said, address Mrs. Freeman, so I don't know what she's talking about. Listen to Commissioner Mervin. Ms. Freeman, what area, what department do you work in with the city? This is,
I work with the senior citizen AARP program, and that's who pays me, AARP. You guys got a contract with the AARP, but Mr. Greg Williams is my supervisor. He notified me, I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, but he was nice enough to wait until I got out of the doctor's office. When I got my phone call, he said, I hate to discuss certain things over the phone. I said, well, okay, then great. I already felt like what it was, because he is not God that already revealed this to me. But like I said, I won't muzzle, I won't bite down, I will be vocal. I've always been that way, be an advocate. I'm an advocate for seniors, and I stress that so much is for the seniors. He said that I got word from higher up that we no longer can have you working here anymore. As of today, which was Monday, I no longer have a job. Those are his exact words. Remind you, I only worked with the city of Pahokee maybe like 4 days, but each time starting December the 13th and then January the 5th, after I spoke on January the 5th at the meeting, January the 9th, I was terminated. He said from his higher up.
okay, so my question is, so you work for AARP. I just want to get some clarity from people get understanding the right thing.
But my question
Well,
is,
Why you was fired?
my question is why I was fired. My second question is, you asking me so much about my job and my job description. Mr. William works for you guys, the city of Pahokee. Why won't you allow him to give you all the information concerning my job and my job description?
First of all, I'm just here just asking questions.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
So I'm just asking you to get clarity. So you work for AARP. So in other words, you saying you was fired.
I was fired.
Okay. So you're just no longer in the city of Pahokee, but you're not fired from AARP. You still have a job. You just won't be placed
I
in
don't have
AARP.
a job. If I don't have no paycheck coming in I don't have a job.
My understanding with AARP, now if I'm wrong, if someone could please correct me. If they, And, oh, I'm sorry, if I'm wrong, if AARP, so AARP, so the thing is, you're displaced now from the city of Pahokee, but not with AARP. You still have a job, you just won't be in the city of Pahokee. I'm just trying to
With
get
no
clarity
disrespect,
that.
with no disrespect.
I'm just asking, I don't know.
decline to answer you
I don't
because
know.
that's why I know you don't know. Mr. William does know. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
so I know where you're going at with this.
Well, I would
so
like
like I
some, can you
said,
please let him get some clarity, Mayor Bab,
you.
just to get some
Mr.
clarity,
Jackson,
so we would know what's actually is, just on that, please.
was the one who told him that fire.
Oh, well, I don't know about none of that, but Mr. Love, stop with some accusation that's not true. Mr. Williams, can you please come to the podium? Can you please come to the podium, Mayor? So we just clear this.
He's still there.
He's right here. Mr. Williams, can you come to the podium?
Call Mr. Williams to come in. To the podium? Yes, sir, you.
He
You,
got
sir.
he got the test, that's his supervisor.
Yes, you can come to the podium.
He got the test.
You don't-
Commissioner, this is,
Miss-
that man will fire everybody who go there.
Mr. Lucas, do Mr. Williams have your permission to at least address whatever information he has in reference to the firing, if that's the appropriate word, of Ms. Freeman?
Mr. Mayor, can I just say, as your legal counsel, you may want to stay away from this. You have an agenda, you've had public comment, you've listened to the public comment, and this is...
She's gotta go too. She's gotta go too.
You out of order, Mr. Reed.
You always have a,
Right, because
when
because I'm a lawyer, and that's what lawyers do.
Yeah, you want them when we ask you questions, Mr. Perez.
swivel like a snake. You always know the back way to everything.
We're gonna follow our city attorney directions and advice as far as steering away from this at this point. At this time,
I have a question.
this meeting, we're gonna temporarily have to take a 2-minute recess. If this meeting continue the way it is and with the continued outbursts, I'm gonna ask the PBSO to remove anyone that's out of order, anyone who's speaking out of turn.
Why didn't you do in the other meetings the same thing? Why don't you adjourn it just like you
Commissioner-
did before?
Question, Mayor.
If you're not getting the answer you want, then you should be able to leave. It's no one keeping you here. The meeting is live stream, and you won't be missing anything.
Y'all so arrogant. Y'all so arrogant.
And dumb.
Y'all talk about respect.
And rogue.
People talk to y'all. Y'all so
Embarrassing.
arrogant.
Say it.
Y'all so arrogant. I wouldn't be that arrogant. I wouldn't be that arrogant. I'd rather be disrespectful than to be arrogant.
Hold on, wait a minute, let's move on.
I know I'm not sure you're referring to me, but you're the first person I've ever heard call me arrogant.
Yes, I know that. You don't understand. You don't understand what's going on. That's why. I wouldn't be arrogant. I'd be disrespectful anytime before I'd be arrogant. Nobody can claim I'm arrogant. That's I'm disrespectful. This is different. Y'all let him, y'all gonna be still here and he gonna be gone.
May I have everyone's attention? We're going to reconvene our meeting. If anyone continue to be disrupted, I would have no choice but to ask our police to remove you from this chamber. Please allow us to conduct our meeting. You don't have to agree with us, and no one asking you to, but allow us to conduct our meeting in a business and orderly manner.
They all right.
The next item,
They know they gonna get arrested. I'm gonna be here. They can go look at it.
you out of order, Mr. Love. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. One is the December 13, 2022 workshop minutes and the December 13, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Commissioners, if there is no objection, I would entertain a motion for the approval of our consent agenda item, unless there's some item on here that need to be pulled for discussion.
Mayor, I move that we would accept the consent agenda December 13th workshop, December 13th regular meeting minutes.
I'll second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly second by Commissioner Bolden for the acceptance of the consent agenda items, which consists of the December 13 workshop minutes and the December 13 regular meeting minutes. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
No.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by majority 4-1 vote. Next on the agenda is our old business, discussion of existing activities or previous held event, if any. First item on the agenda on the old business is the update of city projects. City Manager.
I was looking for, where's Adams?
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. The old house, Project 647, has been demolished. So they will resume completely clearing the area and removing the trees within the next couple of weeks. So that project should be done very soon. Barfield Highway is on track. So we still have a couple of more items. There is a change order in your paperwork, your agenda for tonight. We also have East Lake Village project that will be resuming next week. So we have submitted the documents to FDEP, so we'll be able to move forward with East Lake Village as of next week. The sidewalk project for Phase 1 for Begonia has been completed, but we still have the change order that was processed and approved by the commission. So they still have that last piece to complete, and then we'll be completely finished with that and be ready to identify the next set of sidewalks that will need to be repaired. And I believe that is it for my project update.
Just one question on the property by the Commissioner Park, the coconut tree, the tall coconut tree, that's planned on being removed also?
And I have to go back and look to see exactly where it is on the line. If it is on the line of where the old house sits, then it will be removed. But if it's Commissioner's Park, if we want it removed, then I have to look at the
We've
cost.
been requesting, at least I have personally, since that project was named to be demolished, specifically making sure that coconut tree or palm tree or whatever type of tree it is be removed. It's clearly on the lot of the house. It just leaning towards and overlapping the electrical pole.
If it's on that line, all those trees within that area
And
will
I
be
asked
removed.
for us to make sure that that was even included in the narrative of the demolition and cleanup.
Yes, they do have the map, and I will go check to confirm that it is within there.
I have a
I
question
have a
about.
question on the Phase 1, who's the engineer? Who was the engineer in the Phase
Phase
1?
for the sidewalks?
Yeah.
The sidewalks were, I have to go back and look at the original Phase 1 for the sidewalks, but that was just the demolition, the removal of the sidewalks. So I have to go back and look at the original, because that was surtax dollars that we used it for.
And who was the engineer for the demolition?
The engineer for the demolition was MDL Engineering.
How much did we pay him?
So MDO Engineering, that was a SWA grant. The SWA grant was for $80,000. I believe it was $2,000 that the engineer received payment for.
And Phase 4, who's the engineer?
Phase 4 for the resurfacing of the roads. Phase 4 is AE Engineering.
So we got more than one engineer?
Well, you have to remember, at the time that those projects were put into place, AE Engineering for Phase 4 was our contracted engineer. And then when we had the house for the SWA grant, MDO Engineering was chosen as the engineer for that house.
And phase 4, what was the date of the original grant for that one?
Phase 4, the date was, I have to go back and look because I don't want to misquote the date, but I believe it was 2019, but I have to go check to make sure.
18 or 19?
FY 2018 or 19.
But yet, when we talk about grants, we tell the city that everything stopped because of the year and a half since we took over.
Well,
Because we fired everybody.
I think
which
it
is
depends.
false information because the only people we fired was the city attorney and the city manager. Everybody else quit. We don't have the authority to fire anybody else.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I know that I was terminated. But if it depends on even though the grant may have been executed and approved in 18-19, you still have the design and those items that go along with it. So the project may have not started until 19. And when you speak of last year, if there's no one there to do the reimbursement and submit the paperwork,
How long were you out from the city?
I was terminated August the 19th,
When did
2021.
you come back?
I came back this year.
Commissioner Perez.
April
When did
this
you
year.
come back?
I came back March 26th.
So how many months is that?
9, 10, 11.
September, October, November, December,
Commissioner
January,
Perez,
February, March,
you-
April, 8 months. 8 months. What is it that wasn't paid when we were here? Because as far as I know, Eastlake got paid.
Eastlake, well, the last payment that I made for Eastlake was paid before I left.
Yeah.
And then the payment that was just made when I came back.
And why
But
wasn't
in
that
between,
made?
because no one was there to do the
No, that
reimbursement.
wasn't true.
Commissioner Perez.
Because we wanted to get reimbursed before we paid the
Commissioner
contractor.
Perez.
That's the way it's
Commissioner
supposed to be.
Perez, could you follow the agenda? We're talking
I'm
about,
following the agenda.
The
She's
agenda
giving
is-
the report and I'm asking questions. I am allowed to ask questions.
Are you
If you don't want to ask it, that's on you. But
don't
I wanna ask it.
dominate the action of questions.
I'm not
Commissioner
dominating.
Perez-
Nobody else have questions.
Commissioner
but you
Bowden,
have-
we do.
You have a problem every time I have questions. Nobody else has questions, but when I have them,
Commissioner Bowden
you
have a question.
problem.
I have additional questions.
Okay, go ahead, because you
Commissioner-
already asked your
I
question.
asked one question.
Go ahead, finish, so I
Commissioner
can keep
Bowden.
asking my questions.
Commissioner Bowden.
Because I'm not done.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about the demolition.
Yes.
Okay, did we receive funds for that demo?
Yes, those are SWA funds, Solid Waste Authority grant,
And how much was the?
$80,000.
$80,000. So we received a grant to demo that house?
Yes.
Which is why it wasn't done for free. It had to go out for.
Yes,
Yeah,
otherwise
of course.
we canceled that grant. And then we would have had to pay for the house out of our funds.
Because that money was specifically for the
If it
demo.
was free, you didn't have to pay it out of your funds.
I have a
You
question.
could have gone back to SWA and used that grant for something else.
No, you couldn't.
You do it all the time for all the other grants.
No, you couldn't.
Did it for the marina, and it was allowed. That grant was for a pier and a deck.
Commissioner
A pier
Perez.
and a deck. And Chandler painted the driveway, he painted the buildings, he did a bathroom
Now
that doesn't work and doesn't have sewer.
Commissioner
Jesus
Gonzalez had a
Christ.
question.
Yes, sir.
It's really funny, because it's not you over there running your mouth and deceiving the people, telling them all kinds of lies. Because in that meeting that you did, everything you said was a lie.
You need to
Was
be,
a lie. East Lake, that was in 2019, not the past year and a half.
Commissioner Perez,
Please
you
hold on
are
the
out of
meeting.
order.
CARES money.
You
We lost
going back
that
and forth,
money
we in a
to
meeting,
Adam.
we in a meeting, Commissioner
She
Perez.
failed. She failed to apply for it.
Oh, my God.
Okay, we got the ARPA because the city manager that you guys bashed, Mr. Thompson, Within 4 days of expiration,
Commissioner Perez.
filled out the application.
Commissioner
And now
Perez.
you guys want to use the money. I'm gonna
Commissioner
talk, I'm gonna
Gonzalez.
say it all because there's people watching and there's people listening. And I
I'm
hope
sure
the
they're
ones that
listening.
need to go to jail end up in jail. That's what I hope.
You out of order, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Gonzalez has the floor.
All false information.
Okay.
You out of order, ma'am. Commissioner Gonzalez.
In reference to the
false
demolition,
information.
for the record, did Mr. Perez offer to do it for free before we got the grant?
I had not had a conversation with Mr. Perez in reference to
Okay.
doing it for free.
Because I want to know if he gave us that offer before the grant. Because it doesn't make sense. If he offered that to do it for free before the grant, there was no reason for us to go after the grant.
Commissioner
wow.
Perez, I can only speak to the
Jesus Christ.
bid process.
I mean, that's the truth. You don't like it? It's the truth. It's common sense.
I can only speak to the bid process. And so Big Dog Express applied for the bid. They submitted their bid documents. Any conversation, I didn't have a conversation with Big Dog Express in reference to a bid, applying for, wanting to do the job for free.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Bear, point of order. Let's make some corrections here. First of all, the $80,000 bid the allocation came in 2019. So it's nothing that they applied for. Then that's a SWA grant that we get pretty much for demolition almost every year.
We applied for it.
Okay? So you don't have to.
We applied.
You apply, but listen, but you still don't have to go. Please, Robert Love, please stop talking out. Please. Now, let's go back to Mr. Emilio. The first thing they always says when they first got up here, that everybody that was hired as friends and were hired from under the table, or everything was done wrong. There was a bid, there's a bid process, not only in the city of Pahokee, not only in the city of Belgrade, but in the 49 municipalities. There is a process. There is a request for proposal. So the stuff that Mr. Perez got up here and said is very false. Okay, it's false. You're not, please, he didn't have to leave here, please.
But you waited till now. Why didn't you talk when he was here?
Oh my
You
God,
had
I
the
can
right
say,
to talk.
please.
You had the right to
No,
talk. Why didn't you talk in
Because
front
you're
of
wearing
me?
your mouth like you're doing now, so be quiet, please.
I run my mouth when I want to run it. Because you run it when you want to run it.
Miss, point on Mayor, can I finish what I'm saying? The proposal there's a proposal went out, anybody could have bid it who had the license on here. What Mr. Perez is not telling you, that he does not have demolition license. He's not a licensed contractor for what the proposal.
He was a subcontractor with somebody with a
Commissioner
license.
Perez, you continue to interrupt.
So don't give false information.
The request asks for a licensed contractor.
He had a license. He had a license. He had a license.
It has a license, it asks for a licensed
I'm gonna move on.
contractor.
My final question to you, Ms.
Remember, can I
Canada.
please finish? I need to clear up something, if you don't mind. Please.
ahead, clear it.
It's a
I got
licensed
all the
contractor.
paperwork.
He did not have, yes, he might have had the less bid. Once the bid, but we don't know who bid on this once the bids are opened. When the bids are, yes, he might have asked for the less bid, but because he didn't have all of the requirements, it had to go to the next person that bid.
What requirements
He
he
did
didn't
bid, he said he did not bid on it. Yes, he did bid on it. He did the whole process. After the bid was open, then he wanted to go back and change the city to go back and bring a subcontractor in. That's the thing. You gotta do right.
Miss Murray.
Subcontractor.
But he did not do it at the time of the bid.
Miss
He
Murray.
had it, he just put it in the wrong
We
place.
have one
You
commissioner.
gotta talk the truth.
Vice Mayor
He
Murray.
didn't show me.
You sitting up
Commissioner
here telling
Perez.
what you don't
Commissioner
know.
Perez.
He showed me, he didn't have his name on that.
Yes, he did.
Vice Mayor. Vice Mayor.
We're gonna move from this item.
Vice Mayor.
We're moving on. You're fine.
Before it was a bid.
Ms.
Mr.
Murphy.
Love, Mr. Love, this is not a social meeting.
y'all
This is a
are
commission
wrong.
meeting.
Ms. Murphy.
You continue,
Ms. Mervin,
Leave,
but
no,
you
don't ask me
continue to
anything.
speak
I'm not
out.
asking you.
Don't
You
ask me
said-
anything.
Allow
So-
the commission to debate. We have enough.
Don't ask me anything.
Explain the other demolitions he's done in the past without the paper or
Don't ask me
paperwork.
Commissioner
anything.
Gonzalez.
Yes, I can tell, I can tell, I don't have
How
no
many
problem.
demolitions has he done? How many demolitions has he done in the past?
I'm not asking a question in
The
the,
package that getting commissioners, there's a copy there.
Mr.
of the
Perez,
license.
Mr.
You
Perez.
got a copy of it, Marvin.
Did you have license, Mr. Perez?
how-
Do you have the demolition contractor license? Yes
In
or
the
no?
past.
No, you don't. Okay, case closed. Go ahead, Mayor.
In the past, how many
Commissioner-
demolitions did you allow him to
Commissioner
do?
Mervin, Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Gonzalez. None of you all have the floor at this point.
Well, I
We're
haven't-
moving on to our next agenda item.
Well, I was going along with what you were saying because in the past, y'all gave him the contract to do demolitions without paperwork. So you approved those in the past. All of a sudden, you have a problem with one?
Okay.
All of a sudden, you have a problem with one?
I submitted.
All of those demolitions in the past he's
A few
done.
days later, when the city called me and told me that.
Mayor
the
Bear,
license
please,
was
let's
not
go on
there,
with the meeting.
I submitted
Please.
a copy license. But you know, one question you need to raise now. One question you need to raise is, a few minutes ago, you made the statement that you was not aware that was gonna do it for free. You need to raise that question. Because if you was not aware, somebody's lying, because they told me that you had said no, you wanted to go to the bid process. And I was the lowest
Mayor
bidder.
Bear,
I was the lowest bidder.
Mayor Bear, point of order.
That's a question
Let's
that
go
you
with the
ask,
meeting. Let's go with the meeting.
And you too, Marvin, you need to ask that question.
Mr. Perez, I'm gonna answer your question. Me and you talked. There was money allocated for this,
You have $85,000.
right? There's money allocated for it, right? Okay, so it goes by the bid process.
Right.
Exactly, right?
Right.
When you did the bid process, you put your name as the person doing the demolition.
That's correct.
Am I correct?
That's correct.
Now, do you have the contractor license? Answer that. Do you have them?
Personal no.
Okay, leave it at.
Okay.
This asks for what? What did this ask for? When you fill it out. This asks for a contractor license. And it doesn't matter, you did it in the past, Mr. Perez.
Mr. Love,
Yeah, that's for free. That's correct.
okay.
Let's go on. Mayor Bear, I didn't even want to get out of character like this. Let's go, I'm sorry.
If you would actually do it for free, why did they go to bid?
Commissioner Marvin, look at the package I gave you.
Mayor Bear, let's go.
Next item,
Look at the package I gave you. You see that's a general contractor license.
A resolution. You did not have
Okay,
that,
Mr.
Mr.
Perez.
Perez.
Look at it.
Mr. Perez,
It was emailed to the city.
the next item on the agenda is public hearings and or
That is so-
ordinance.
this is-
There are no public hearings on ordinance. Next item on the agenda is resolution.
A
We have our
resolution,
first resolution, Resolution
This is so sick.
2023-01, City Attorney.
a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, ratifying supplemental agreement number 6 to the state-funded grant.
Excuse me,
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You didn't have to leave. Because your
Mr.
wife kept
Perez.
talking. Former wife one, wherever you say she is. This is stupid.
Should I proceed? Should I proceed, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, ratifying supplemental agreement number 6 to the state-funded grant between the City of Pahokee, Florida and the Florida Department of Transportation, attached hereto is Exhibit A, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of Resolution 2023-01?
The City of Pahokee is in receipt of the Florida Department of Transportation Economic Development Transportation Fund for Phase 4 resurfacing of the City of Pahokee streets, Contract G 1605, Supplemental Agreement Number 6. This supplemental agreement allows the City of Pahokee time to complete the resurfacing of Phase 4 streets. Supplemental Agreement Number 6 is a legislative allocation of $210,000. The terms of this agreement is from December 30th, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. This agreement allows the city an extension of time to complete the resurface of the streets West Third Street from Carissa Drive to South Lake Avenue, Second Street, West Fifth Terrace, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Budget impact is $210,000, is reimbursable by FDOT. The Department of Community and Economic Development recommends approval of this FDOT Phase 4 Supplemental Agreement Number 6.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, at this time, having had this resolution properly read into the minutes by our city attorney, properly explained by our city manager, what's your pleasure?
Mayor Bab, I move to accept Resolution 2023-01.
I second for question.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Perez. Call for questions.
Yes, what's the original date of this agreement? What was the original date?
Ms. Adams, what's the original date?
I believe the original date of the agreement was FY 18-19.
It was February 21 of 2019. And so we asked for an extension based on, I'll read it. The city of Pahokee experienced several changes in administrative staffing, which impacted their ability to perform the project work and the availability of resources for the past year and a half. In addition, the city advertised the project in September of 2022 and did not receive any bidders. This SA also extends the term of the executed stated funded grant agreement, SFGA, to align with the anticipated construction schedule and avoid the expiration of the agreement prior to project completion. The city plans to re-advertise the project starting Monday, December 19, 2022, and shall run for 2 weeks period. This was dated December 29, 2022, but it's supposed to be advertised December 19, 10 days prior to the date of the agreement. First of all, 2 years between the original and the extension. 2 years went by, and you guys are using the past year and a half also blaming the changes in the administration, because everything is the blame on us. Because, no, it's not. You had us since 2019. And she's been here for the past 5-7 years. All the grants were behind. All of them. They're all expired. All of them expired. We've had Barfield Highway, we had East Lake, we had McClure Road, MLK, you name it. We've had it. We've had all that money, and we keep extending. What is the purpose?
Correction,
What is the
I have
purpose?
not been here for a complete 7 years. I was
You've
not
been
here,
here
I was
since
not,
Sanders been here.
I was not here from 2019 to 2020. I left in November 30th, 2018, and I returned February the 10th, 2020. So during that period of time,
1920.
so during that period of time, I was not here. So yes, we did ask for it, and then yes, I was gone for 9-11 months. So yes, we did ask for an extension because in September, no one came out to apply. No one came to the pre-bid meeting, so we re-advertised it. And FDOT graciously allowed us the extension so that we can get these roads completed. The roads have not been resurfaced. So yes, I can take ownership to what has not been done, what has been done, and it is a process. So that is not the only thing that CED does in that department. And it is an entire process which requires reimbursement. So if there is no one, our finance department does not reimburse. So if there is no one in that department to reimburse, and to make sure that those forms are completed accurately, because if they're not completed accurately, they are returned, and it pushes the process back. And that goes for FDEP, FDET, FDOT, DEP, any of our reimbursement projects, which includes McClure, the Marina,
East
Glade
Lake.
Citizen, East Lake.
Yeah, Barfield
all of those.
Highway,
So
MLK.
Commissioner Perez, it was not purposed for those projects to be pushed back. If there is no one there to do the process, then
So
yes,
there
it
hasn't been
impacts.
no one there to do the process since the grants first came out? No one's been there.
Come on, we just
How did we get
allocated.
it? How did we
Explain
get
the
it?
allocation for getting,
You
when
don't
it's
have to
allocated.
explain to me the
When it's allocated, don't mean you got the money.
Once the money's allocated,
That
okay?
money does not come in.
It don't come like
It
that.
doesn't matter. I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't, but you gotta do you
Point-
gotta start
point of order.
your design, your engineer, you gotta
Point.
do all that. You gotta move on it. And
Commissioner
this is-
Perez.
You're supposed to do it and then you get reimbursed.
Commissioner
You do that
Perez.
from the money, from the time you get the grant. So what's new here?
Commissioner
What
Perez.
process do you have to explain? Because you could explain it to the people that don't understand it, but not to me, because I understand it very well.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do, better than you do. Because apparently you don't know how it works.
Why we got no finance director?
It's fine. There's a
So that we
motion.
could keep using the same excuse.
There's a motion
We
on the
don't
floor.
have- We don't have anybody here so we get
That
more
has been
extension and
moved
more
and properly
extension and more
second.
extension. They're not gonna answer you.
Any
I'm gonna
additional
answer you.
question from the commission? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
No,
Commissioner Gonzalez?
No.
Mayor Bab?
Yes.
I'm sorry, and Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passed by a majority, 3-2 vote. I hope and I trust that the commission who voted against the motion is realizing you're voting not to proceed with the road pavement, money that we have on hand to do it. It's a different way to make a point, but that's not one of them that I would suggest.
it's making a point, because now you're gonna give it to A&E, or you're gonna give it to MDO, and you're gonna give them a
Next
cut
item
of
on the
money,
agenda.
and then you're gonna give it to
You-
2SBW or the
you out
little
of
group
order,
that you
Mr.
have,
Perez.
that you work with.
Commissioner Perez. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2022-02. City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, approving change order number 18 pertaining to the State of Florida Department of Transportation FDLT contract number G-1753 FM 442030-0154-1 for the Barfield Highway Reconstruction Project as set forth in Exhibit A, providing for an effective date.
Commissioner. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation of the resolution?
Yes, sir. Barfield Highway Change Order 18. This change order is for Barfield Highway reconstruction. The change order is for compensation to Rizzo Site Development for the preparation of the construction site for Hurricane Ian. The directive per FDOT project manager personnel due to the State of Florida Executive Order 22-219 has issued as a result of Hurricane Ian. Rizzo was directed to cease construction in an effort to secure the area for the upcoming storm from September 26, 22 through September 30th, 2022. Rosso is entitled to 100% of the $10,507.39 to secure the site. Staff recommendation recommends approval of this change order number 18.
Thank you, City Manager. City Commission, having had Resolution 2022. At this point, I'm issuing my last warning. Anyone who speak out of turn and disrupt this commission, I would ask that PBSO escort them out.
If I wasn't speaking, I was speaking to somebody on this live. And they
That's the same thing, you're disrupting the meeting.
They feel like I'm doing right.
City Commission, what's your pleasure on Resolution 2022-02?
Mayor Bab, I move to accept Resolution 2023-02.
I second with question.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly second by Commissioner Perez for the adoption of Resolution 2022-02. Call for question, Commissioner Perez.
Yes, I'd like to know how was the site prepared? What did they do to prepare the site?
So per the directive of FDOT, all the items that were loose had to be secured. Any hammers or nails or anything that was laying down at the site, they had to move it to a secure location. And that location was either at the corner of, I believe their staging area is at the corner of near 7th and Barkville Highway.
Okay, they're doing a total road reconstruction. They use hammer and nails and bolts.
Commissioner Perez, I was using that as an example. I don't know exactly what the items are. I would have to go pull the file, but the documents are there.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm
asking.
asking. That's why I'm asking. You got 9 hours. 9 hours of labor, you got 9 hours of dozer, you got 9 hours of broom, you got 9 hours for a pickup truck, you got 9 hours for a superintendent, 9 hours for labor road crew, you got 4 hours for operator on the crew. And then Johnson and Davis. Who's Johnson and Davis?
Johnson and Davis is the sub for Rosso.
So they alone charge $5,400, $5,470, and the rest, I guess, okay, the subcontractors $5,700, equipment total was $2,800, and labor total was $1,600.
Yes, and as you can see in your documents, your email communication, that went straight to FDOT, and FDOT, because that was their directive, they reviewed all of those items and they approved it, and that's how they came up with the change order amount that they would approve.
Yeah, and that was based on Executive Order 22-219, which it says it waives the fee for duplicate or replacement of vessel registration certificate, vessel title certificate, vessel license plate, vehicle registration certificate, vehicle tax certificate, vehicle title certificate, handicap parking permit, replacement driver's licenses, replacement identification card, and to waive the additional fee for the late renewal of an application of such licenses, certificates, documents due to the effects of the adverse weather conditions, for permitting, for overweight, underweight, oversized. I don't know what that's got to do with securing.
Well,
and if you have a company, you're supposed to secure when a hurricane comes.
So FDOT went according to what the executive order was, because Florida Department of Transportation answers to the governor, and that executive directive, they followed suit. So whatever was written there was within the guidelines of things.
I know. Unfortunately, it's a waste of the taxpayers' money, whether it's the city, whether it's the state, whether it's the government, it's the taxpayers' money. It don't belong to them, it belongs to the hardworking people that they just dish it out and automatically, because it's there, I'm gonna take it. Because if you go to that site right now, do you know where Rosso is? They're working in Fort Myers with a hurricane pickup. That's why our roads are not completed. Yes, I know this for a fact.
I'm
The
sure
crew is
that
over there.
Rosso doesn't have just one crew.
No, I know, they got 2 people working here.
Okay.
They got 2 people working here. They got a pile of dirt that is as high as that, right in front of the tree farm place, right in front of the hardware store. Why they don't come here and complain, I have no idea. Probably because they know that it's gonna go to the air because nothing gets done about it. I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed to be part of this commission. You know why? Because I happen to be the minority. I happen to be the minority, and unfortunately, you got the majority here that's very, 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 very toxic for this city.
Any additional question from the commission? Hearing none.
I do.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Ms. Adams, so basically this is saying we're paying them to use their own equipment all over again,
We're paying them to use their own equipment?
right? Is that what it basically is saying?
Well, no, sir, it is.
No, we're paying for them to pick up the equipment for the hurricane.
FDOT.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we're paying them to move their equipment, their own stuff.
FDOT granted them allowance to be able to move that equipment to a safe location.
Right, but it's their equipment.
It is their.
And we should pay
equipment,
them for moving their equipment.
yes, sir. FDOT
So we're
granted-
responsible for their equipment.
FDOT
You're not
Okay, thank
paying,
you.
FDOT is doing it. God.
Is this part of the same grant?
It's FDOT grant.
It's part of the same grant.
It is FDOT
So it's coming
grant.
out of that same money.
It is coming out of
Yeah, say it like
FDOT's
it
money.
is. Coming out of the
I said
same money.
FDOT's
So
money.
if you're not using the money, we gotta get it somehow. So let's put the
Hearn.
$10,000 there.
Hearing no additional questions, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bolden?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
No.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
No,
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes,
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by majority, 3-2 vote.
wrong information, God, Jesus.
Next item on the agenda is new business. Conversation about activities or events, or upcoming events, if any. We don't have any particular item on the new business list, but I would think that either the ARPA funding or should go in the new business, or should have went on the old business. What's the status of that and why it's not on the agenda?
exactly the way it's written.
I'm going to speak to it in my city manager report, and the reason why is we're working out, forming out through nonprofits to disperse the funding.
Here we go. Are you listening? Nonprofit to disperse the money.
Next is the mayor's report. I just want to wish and hope that everyone had a great new year. Hopefully it was safe and prosperous, and hope that this year is even a better year than last year. I just want to ask this community, those who attend these meetings, we do have the meeting live stream. You have an opportunity to view them at any time. You have an opportunity to be here and view them in person, which we really prefer. I've had citizens even ask, why don't we discontinue live streaming? And it's because that some of them are embarrassed about the way that our residents and even our commission conduct themselves in city commission meetings. I fought very hard for live streaming. I was the first contact in this city. It wasn't the city manager, wasn't the city commission at first. They came to the mayor. We talked about the possibility of doing live streaming so the public will be more informed of what we're doing, even if they're not able to attend meetings. It was for transparency. And if some of you all that are attending, and I look at and review the meetings after our meeting, just the Monday night quarterback it, just to see what changes or what difference could have been made. I'm presiding over the meeting, and the majority of that responsibility falls on me. You hate to ask someone to be escorted out of this chamber. That's the last resort that you would like to do, but it comes a point where you don't really have a choice. It's not only embarrassment to myself and this commission and our residents, but it should be an embarrassment to the people who are out of order. And even if you are a commission, it doesn't matter. We have to start conducting ourselves in a more decent and appropriate manner. And that's just my request for the new year for you. But if that continue, we continue the way we are, even when we have to just clear the house and just conduct a meeting and have the live stream, we would do that. You don't want it to come to that, but it's coming to that point where we just out of order. I don't know if any other commission that conduct themselves the way we conduct ourselves. I know it may happen on occasion at other commissions, but I don't think it happened as much and as often as it happened here in the city of Pahokee. So I'm just asking, I'm pleading with this community to do things in the right way, so we are not an embarrassment to the entire community and to investors who come in and look at our community.
You need a financial record for investors. And the number one thing, too, while y'all saying that, it's embarrassing for people to come up here and ask questions and y'all don't answer. Y'all should change that resolution tonight.
I'm talking now. It's you out.
Y'all ain't answer nobody. People ain't got no answer tonight still, because y'all want to answer what y'all want to answer.
PBSO.
Disrespect.
Could you ask and escort Mr. Love? We can't continue with the disruption. Mr. Love, we're going to ask you at this time to leave so we can continue with our meeting.
I'm asking them a question. I'm telling them something. Y'all ain't got to do all that, man. Y'all know how I mean. Y'all know I ain't ignorant like they is. And then, like I say, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful when somebody speak up for their community. Y'all file, y'all put them out the
Especially when your brother sat there and went on for hours and hours and hours. You didn't escort him out.
Nobody in everybody gonna be hating y'all by the time they get ready. Everybody gonna be hating y'all by the time he leaves here. Y'all gonna still be in fear. People gonna still be hating to keep. I thought you were gonna change, but you ain't gonna change. You're gonna be that same old ignorant person, and I'm gonna be the same old ignorant person here. I'm going straight on live. I'm gonna charge my phone up by the time I get home. I'm gonna be live again, so y'all can keep at it some more. And then, like I told Miss Allen, when I say something about somebody, you better. I ain't ashamed to say it. I ain't ashamed to say when I say something about somebody. I ain't gonna back it down.
Look at this fool. Look at that fool keep stacking my picture. He ain't nothing but a fool.
And since it was brought up again, I'll just reiterate.
He loves looking at me.
Most commission, if not all, but the vast majority do not answer questions during commission meeting. I'm not saying one way or the other is right or wrong, but that's what they do. They try to conduct the business and take care of their agenda item so people don't be here all night. Not the commission, but you as a citizen and our staff shouldn't be here all night to get through items that we need to pass or reject to be able to move our business forward. And that's the reason why you don't have a lot of answering. I would try my best in the future if there's a question I can answer and it don't take a whole lot of time and research, I'm gonna answer it. But that's up to each of us as individuals. I can't stop a person for not answering, and I can't stop a person who would like to answer. So they have that option. Just want to clear that up really quickly. Also, and we're having our Martin Luther King annual parade this Saturday, January the 14th. We're gonna ask the public, the community to come out and be involved and participate in that. Lineup will be at 8 o'clock. The actual parade will be at 9. And afterward, we would have a program there with a speaker and other activity. There'll be food vendors there. There won't be any food that's free. The food will be at a charge by the vendors. So again, we're just gonna remind you to come out and participate in that if you can. And I'm gonna end that. I just wanna, I wanna go back to one of the questions that would ask and just clear it for the record. Mr. Perez did indicate that and we got the rationale about why that the offer for the free service was denied. I think Vice Mayor Boland, I'm going to say Mervin kind of touched on that. But my question is, and I just need clarification, Commissioner Perez wasn't asked because it was a conflict of interest with her, but Mr. Perez indicated that when he was told why that was offer was refused, that the city manager, and I'm just paraphrasing, it could be something different, but I'm just kind of sum it up. He indicated that the city manager indicated to him that whether you polled the commission or spoke to him individual, however you got the answer, that the commission did not or was not in favor of accepting the offer of free service as far as demolishing that property. And I'm gonna be upfront and I'm gonna be public and indicate that I wasn't asked whether or not I would agree or think that was a good idea. But when we say that the commission, it would have to be at least, I guess, 3 to say you using the word commission actually approved it or disapproved of it. So I'm asking you, Mr. Lucas, did you have a communication with the commission? And that's an accurate statement by Mr. Perez that once you had that conversation, that the majority of this commission told you that they wasn't in favor of accepting the offer. And I don't think at this point, based on what the Vice Mayor said, we could have accepted it anyway, but that wasn't the reason. The reason you gave him that he's saying was that you talked with the commission and they say no. So I just want to kind of clear that up if I'm speaking properly or right on that.
I didn't speak with any of you because I spoke with the program person and legal regarding if a person who's married to someone and funding that we had, we couldn't go forward with free on this project.
Okay.
Okay, well, let me just let me just chime in because the conversation about legal, I would have some other concerns, but that's not a conversation that I recall. Let me just put it that way, and I want to be just honest. I'm like that with any one of y'all. If you say me, and I want to just make sure it's on the record. But I would have some other concerns about that, but that wouldn't necessarily be one of them, although it could be an issue. So I'll put it that way, okay? But there are issues, and they include liability issues, why you wouldn't want people just coming and saying they'll do free stuff for the city. They include all kinds of other issues, so.
We got a $10 million liability insurance, Mayor. So the liability issue will not apply.
But that doesn't apply.
Demolition of city Pahokee.
Yeah, it doesn't.
We got liability insurance.
Yeah,
we do it all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't apply. And by the way, I mean, just so we're clear, because the citizens and I feel like compelled to say something because people may leave thinking that this is fine and anybody can just apply. When the city puts out an RFP and it has a contractor's name and it asks for a certain number of specs and requirements, those are the requirements that the city has to abide by. There was a request that was made just, I think, today or yesterday from the county with respect to a question that I was sent an email on. These are things that can be checked, they can be audited. So if you have a situation where somebody does an audit from the county and they see that you're somehow not following whatever you're supposed to be following, that can be an issue where you'll end up with an Inspector General's investigation and those kind of things. So you don't have an option as to whether you're going to follow the requirements that you put out. right? You don't have that as an option. You have to follow it. And I see you shaking your head, and I'm right, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm right, yeah, I am.
I understand.
Okay, yeah, and you can call the county and ask them.
Yeah, you're right.
You can call the
You said
county,
when
and
you
you can
want
call
to,
the
but
county and
yeah.
ask them. And
Yeah.
frankly, Commissioner Perez, you may want to be careful. Commissioner Perez, you may want to be careful speaking on this issue, just from free legal advice for you.
It's been voted. I could speak
It doesn't
about
matter.
all I
It
want
doesn't
to
matter.
now.
Check the
Yes, I
code.
can.
Okay.
I'm an advocate for
thank
my,
you for that
my
input.
constituents, for my city.
My statement of
Last-
free was way before the RFP came out, about 2 months prior. So the RFP does not apply to my free.
Okay.
It was free. I told him free.
Okay,
Before the bid came out.
yeah.
That was a couple of months before that.
And lastly, this is gonna lead right into Mr. Luca's, report. I just need to know what's the status on those additional repairs of the lighting at the pier on the, east end. Quite a few of the fishermen fish on that end, and I know it's some electrical work and some other things need to be done, but just trying to get the status on, that we get a quote on what it's gonna take to repair it at, and when are we planning on fixing the majority of those, the lights, because the people who fish out there are people that rarely have any other activities other than fishing. That's their primary activity, and they are adults, so we're taking care of the kids by having different recreation activities, but the adults, we wanna make sure that we make sure everyone is having some recreation activity in our city, and that's the main one, so I just ask you to kind of follow up and see where we are on that.
I have for you an estimate on the east end. We have numbers to reset and fix the south end with the setting of the clocks. So right now, the lights stay on all day. So it's a timer. So we gotta replace that, fix one light on the south side. So we know that number, just pending the other. It's a little more extensive because you can see where the wires have been pulled out and everything on the east, on the north end. And it's 8 lights altogether.
Okay. And my last one on the lighting, I know we have like the lights this way here. No, they facing this way. They're facing the fishermen. If those lights, I don't know if they're able to, but if they would be able to be moved sideways, not only do you get light for the fishermen, for their equipment or whatever they're doing, you have lights over the water that help attract fish also. So I'm just asking whether or not that's a possibility while we're working on the lighting. Could those be changed and moved, even if it's every other light pole? That's a request came from a fisherman. I thought it was a great suggestion if it was possible to be done. That's include my mayor's report, and now we'll move to the city manager report.
I'm seeking a date from the commission. I spoke today with, in person with Mike Snodgrass at the old hospital, property site 200 South Barfield. He'd like to have a groundbreaking either Friday, March 31st, or Thursday, April 6th. I wanted to see what was a good time for the commission for the groundbreaking of the 60 units.
You want that tonight?
Well, just let me know by the next meeting, that's fine.
To me, it'd be better if we just put it out so everyone would already know, unless you got a conflict on one or either one of those dates. As they choose the first and then say
March
Friday, March 31st. I think that was 31st.
Yeah, the issue with the following week is you got Good Friday, which is Friday, April 7th, and it goes into the
I would like for it to be done as soon as
Me
we get
too.
it done. That's the first date, so I'm just asking the commission itself too, if no one have any problem with Friday, March 31st, let's use that day.
And would you like it in the AM or in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 10 o'clock. Good?
10 is a good time. So Friday, March 31st at 10 a.m. we'll do a groundbreaking for the new development.
All right, action plan, complete the following tasks over the next 6 months. Complete 6 ARPA resolutions by January 17th regarding ARPA Resolution 2023-03 for $3,162,980. Need resolutions for programs and guidelines. That these following 5 will be the revenue replacement, reimbursement of COVID-related revenue shortfall, reoccurring nonprofit partners to process program aid, household assistance, and last, business assistance, and complete a MOU between the nonprofit partners, or at least give an option if you guys want to go that, or if you want to go in-house with the city staff doing it. At least I want to be able to have that for you. Complete a new revision of the corrective action at the Marina and Campground by Wednesday, January 18, 2023. Would like to see complete renovation and repair timelines completed for the Marina going back to 2016 through 2023. I want to do that by January 27th. I understand we've had 2 repairs times at the Marina in 16 and 18. I understand in 16 it was like 800,000, and then I guess in 18 it was to 1.2 million. Prepare a list of items to be placed within the city of Pahokee. Investigate funding to cover restoring the city of Pahokee through the county, state, and federal government to fund repairing of the Marina and Campground and the infrastructure. Approximately for Marina Campground, it may take as much as $2 million. For infrastructure, that's streets and sidewalks, you're looking at approximately $15 million to cover everything throughout the city of Pahokee. Approximate estimate, I'm looking at between $20 and $30 million. I need to obtain estimates and to confirm this. Place 2 electrical car charging units at the Marina. Place 2 gates at the boating dock with card readers. Replace the gate and gate operator at the campground. Clean out the illegal dump in the canal in East Village with city repaired backhoe. Clean up and trim all headstones of paying customers for services at the cemetery. Develop a beautification plan for the cemetery. Looking to develop an infill housing plan with a single family developer. Investigate Town and Country 5 acres. I understand it's next to Citizen Village, or Citizen,
Glade Citizen Village.
Citizen Village, okay. I guess at one time, a company was gonna come in with on their 5 acres and do approximately 50 plots.
8.41 acres.
Sorry, sir, thank you. So I'm gonna seek a conversation with them. Also, we should consider using part of a 35 acres of city-owned land with a $350,000 lien to pay it off. We can start with 9 acres and design at least approximately 100. Well, if it's 8.4, then most I can do there is probably another 50 plots there for a subdivision. And then explore annexation of all Pahokee Housing Authority property. Outstanding items in progress. City audit. We will be starting an audit this Thursday for the FY 2020-2021, and it's to run 6 to 8 weeks with HTC. And I spoke with the Inspector General the other day. Ongoing investigation looking to be completed by May 2023. Spoke with FDEP regarding corrective action. We're looking at seeking a 120-day extension from FDEP as we work out our financing. Update on city development. Develop an RFP for a public-private partnership to use city property to lease to build a hotel site. completing planning and zoning core overlay from basically Okeechobee Lake to Pahokee Housing Authority's property. Prepare site plan for ZAP board after comments are completed for 1 North Lake, and then also for George's property across the street from his hardware for a mechanic shop. Staff is working on contracts for the following: negotiating with Everglade Prep Academy on contract extension. Basically, I believe I got some numbers worked out. They would just like to do 5% every 2 years if possible, and I'll get with Ms. Bernadette on that. Also, we're reviewing the Muck Tavern's lease with the owners, and any modifications we can work out, I'll bring them before the commission to work that out. Working on completing CAP government contract, or putting this out to bid for RFP for these services. Also, we're working on a COVID policy add to the city personnel and regulation handbook, amending policy language to allow employees up to 10 days off for COVID-related sicknesses. And then we'll be interviewing these next couple of weeks to fill all our positions that are open. And as the mayor had brought up, MLK Parade is this Saturday, January 14th. The lineup is at 8 a.m. It starts at 9. Next commission meeting Tuesday, January 24th, 6 p.m. And then what I have on attached to this is a list of accomplishments to date for the first 10 months I've been here. Commission rehired Rodney Lucas as interim city manager April 12, 2022. Over the course of the first 45 days, filled initial employment vacancies, reestablished city attorney, IT services, and contracted with temporary job agency to provide interim finance and HR director, and used Career Source for general office and labor positions. Saved MLK Junior Park Grant $200,000. The grant phase 1, salvage marina and campground area under negotiation with FDEP to renovate the entire site, starting with docks D, E, and F. Close out the EPA Brownsfield Assessment Grant. Conducted a commissioners retreat and strategic planning session July 8, 2022. Conducted several budget workshops, completed city budget cycle, millage rate and rollback number. Commission approved FY 22-23 budget. Ricky Lake scoreboard unveiling, August 13th. Completed audit with HCT for FY 2019-20. Responded to the state on audit findings through Joint Legislative Audit Committee. Reestablished Barfield Highway project and reimbursements. Reestablished East Lake Village Storm Improvement Project. Purchased new city equipment, 3 new riding mowers, 4 gators. Fitted 3 old riding mowers with canopies and fans, as well as 3 old gators with canopies. Hired local lawn service, Sunjack, lawn maintenance during the months of July through October to get the city mowing caught up. Completed phase 1 replacement and installation of sidewalks along Begonia Drive between Bacon Point Road and 3rd Street. Opening of Muck Tavern at the marina and campground. Repaired lights to come on at the south end of the pier. Replace all city flags at City Hall, marina, and at the cemetery. There's lighting provided for those as well. Repaired lights on flagpoles and marquee at City Hall. Added temporary flagpole lights at the marina. Organized city's first all-city tree lighting ceremonies over 5 locations with 4 new trees. City's working on a proposal to expand athletic program to a tri-city league through the Muck in football, basketball, and baseball for the fall of 2023. Invested in holiday decoration as requested by City Commission and residents. Public turkey giveaway in conjunction with PBSO and the city. 155 turkeys were passed out. Centennial Gala and events. Veterans Day Award and celebration. Back to School Bash, fall festivities. Black Business Month with Roundtable Forum. Latino Heritage month with Roundtable Forum, Storm of 1928, Cinco de Mayo, Christmas Parade, completed sections of the city's charter review board members. And then by department, you have the things that Public Works have done to date, and then Parks and Rec. That concludes my city manager report.
Questions? You're proposing 2 electrical charge stations for cars. Why only 2, and what is the average cost of putting those up? I think it's a great idea.
Between $10,000 and $15,000, sir. Between $10,000 and $15,000.
Okay. And we need to stay ahead of the curve. I think if we could find the funding to do a little more than 2, maybe 4 at the minimum.
Okay.
Because I think those things actually show up on maps. So when campers and others are traveling, they know where the nearest charging stations are. We're gonna be ahead of the game if we can get that done in a timely manner. I don't think Belle Glade or South Bay or any of the surrounding communities even started that process. So I think it's a great idea. Secondly, you mentioned that we're going to be doing some hiring or some interviewing for the position that's currently vacant, but you failed to mention what position are you focusing in on?
All of them.
But what are they?
Finance director, HR director. We have several positions open over in Parks and Rec. We have program aid. We have summer people. We need 2 there. We have Parks and Rec where we need about 8 laborers. There's a laundry list. I'm looking at this.
Are we planning on having a separate human resource director / finance director?
No, they're going to be separate.
They're going to be separate? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what about the grant writer?
That as well. There's a grant writer, there's a assistant director in community and economic development.
Okay. Okay. And you may know, but I'm going to just share something with you. I'm going to forward it from Rivero Beach, how they do their announcing of jobs, how they have the pay scale of them, and I mean, just a thorough position listing of those jobs. And even if someone who is interested in those things, I actually email to applicants so they can even do it online. But it's just a great system I see that they have. So I was just wondering and curious about that. Okay.
I have a question.
I have a question too.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes, right here where you said it's completed, the completed audit with ACT for fiscal year 2019-20, isn't that the one that was turned in incomplete?
No.
That was been completed.
It's complete.
Because there's one that y'all turned in and it was.
You can look on the website under finance. Click on it.
Okay.
Call the state, you can find out from the state.
Ma'am?
It's a better source. No, I have a question. Where are we getting all this money from?
We have savings for not hiring in these positions, and those positions have been approved in the budget.
Where are we getting the money to do all the other stuff?
I'm seeking funding.
From?
One place would be the state revolving loan fund. I understand that you can get money from them and they can forgive the amounts of monies if it's for infrastructure and marinas. Also, there's some other things that I've been sent emails on to look at getting grants and stuff. So I was just on a call with Firo at 2 o'clock today, and they suggested some places for me to look at funding. So I'm just beginning to open up these things and look at it.
I doubt if we're gonna get any money in here. I doubt if we're gonna get money from the county or the state, maybe the government, because they don't know about the city yet. But, and my recommendation is not to put any money here until the corruption is cleaned up. That is my true advice to anybody that's listening from the county or the state. Another thing, the ARPA money, what are you gonna do with the ARPA money? Cause I heard that you said that you're looking for a nonprofit so that they could disperse the money.
So one of the ideas I had gotten from you when you were talking about Habitat for Humanity, and since they do home repairs, why can't they oversee it for us?
Habitat for Humanity.
And that's one, for example. But like I said,
And-
I'll bring
and
those.
What's the other? What's the one you got in mind? Let us know which one you got in mind, cause I know you got one in mind.
No,
Just like
it's not
the private investors that you're looking to partner for the houses. Who would that
private
be?
investors. So you got community partners who does first-time home buyer programs and processing. So there's a plethora of things. So we have to have conversations. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Then I want to bring it back to you so you can see it.
So we could see. I'm just tired of y'all's games. And it is a game. It is a game. And you play it very well. You play it very well. I like the fact how you invited us to the Housing Authority to be part of a meeting that I was wondering what the heck I was doing there. But later found out that the Housing Authority cannot do anything without the city's approval. And that's probably the purpose that we were there. We were handed an agenda, and we were told about the 3 options that they have for that property, which I found out that they're working with a private investor to develop that property. And once we did that, shortly after that, you went ahead and included that area to be a core area, and you're remapping and doing all these things for the benefit of the Housing Authority. But it's just another way how you guys do the things. You know, you call us into something, and then after the fact, we realize what it was all about. You're very smart. You're very smart. You're dangerous like Chandler, only Chandler was stupid. You're smart.
Are there any questions from the commission?
And I'm ashamed of you 3 that go along with it. And I'm ashamed of the rest of the employees that follow. Maybe because they're scared to be fired, maybe because they were put there, and they have to be loyal because of the way they were put there.
Okay.
And
Ma'am?
that's what I got to say about it.
My last question, City Manager. In your contract, you propose to have an annual evaluation, which is standard anyway, but you had listed January 2023. So we need to have the Human Resource Director give us those evaluation forms so we can start, formulating our evaluation.
He's not a human resource director.
He's acting.
Everybody acts. Everybody comes in and acts. You come in to oversee the public works or whatever it is, and now he's doing HR director.
At this time now, we'll
And then we have the same lady that's contracted for $10,000 a month for 4 years to do the audits. She started with 2 years behind, and we've been there 4 years, we're still 2 years behind.
Okay, at this time, we'll move to the city attorney's report.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll move to our city commissioners' report comments, and we'll start with Commissioner Perez.
Yeah, I want to put in a motion. I want to put in a motion, I want to put 2019-02 back and take out 2020-03. The one that we put And you guys claim that we never voted on it, and then you came back and you put the one that you wanted back again.
Okay, normally that would be the next topic, future agenda item, but we'll go ahead and have that under your comments. There's a motion.
Second.
And by Commissioner Perez and a second by Commissioner Gonzalez to put what item?
2019-02.
2019-02.
Yeah, the one you all fought us for, I know it's not gonna pass, but I'm gonna put it anyway.
On record.
Call for questions.
Could you read it to me so I can know what it is? Verbatim?
I don't have it right here, but for one thing, is that we don't answer to any of the questions that the people have.
I
That's
just
one thing.
wanted to hear it before I actually.
We have an attorney. Attorney can read it.
I'm happy to comment on it. Neither one of them address anything that she's talking about. It's public comment, and that's what she's talking about. And in both of them, the public has the right to come and speak. And I think even a while ago, before Commissioner Perez and Commissioner Gonzalez came, you all actually extended the time because it used to be 2 minutes, you made it 3 minutes. So then later, public comment is the same. So they're leaving people with the impression that somehow it's
Just
changed and
listen.
somehow people cannot speak now, but it's the same thing in both ordinances.
We're gonna wait
where the
and
pu-
we're
where the
gonna read
where
it,
the
and
pu-
we're not gonna take
you
your
should do
word,
that.
'cause
You should
just
do
like
that.
you told him last time
Yeah.
about Chandler's,
I didn't say anything about
lawsuit,
Chandler.
You just told him whatever
No.
you wanted to
No,
say.
I didn't say
and-
anything
and-
like
and
that.
he took your word
That's
for
not
it.
true.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're
I
talking
have it
about,
on
and I
record.
said nothing about a
Both of y'all.
channel.
I got both of y'all
Okay,
on
great,
record.
bring it. But anyway,
Yes, no, I'm
anyway,
gonna
what
tell
she's
you the
discussing and what she's bringing up is just confusing the public because there is no
I'm not
difference.
confusing the
There
public.
is
I'm
no
gonna
difference.
put
You
it
can
out.
pull them
I'm gonna
up. It's
put it
public
out.
record.
I'm gonna
It's
put
public.
it
You should
out
do
on
that.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Do that.
For
Okay.
everybody to see it,
have
to
a
see if she's right or I'm right.
We into questions, in additional questions.
I did. Okay, so you just stated there's no difference, so there shouldn't be a problem with switching it back then.
The public comment section that she's referring to, there is no difference in the public comment. So to say
The
to people,
entire-
to say to
entire
people that people used to be able to
2019-02,
speak, but now
yes.
they can't speak, that's not true. There's a public
I
comment
didn't
section.
say that
There is
people
a,
can't
that's what,
speak.
that's.
I said we cannot answer when they
Yeah,
have
you
questions.
in both,
No,
in
you
both
have the
of,
right now
no,
not to
that's how the, that's not even true. That's not even true. What, in both of them, the mayor presides over the meeting, and what you were trying to do in a previous resolution, when you all first came into office, was to take it out where the mayor wouldn't even be able to preside, but in both of those ordinances, the mayor presides,
gonna
so,
put
the,
it
in
out.
both of the
I'm gonna put
ordinances,
it
the
out.
mayor
You can
presides over the
save your
meeting,
breath, 'cause I
okay?
don't
Yeah, and it
believe
doesn't even
nothing
make
that you're
sense, and it's to
saying.
confuse the
I do
public,
not
and it's
believe
shameful.
nothing that you're
Perez.
saying. You
Ms.
just say
Perez.
whatever you wanna say.
Ms. Perez, Commissioner Bowden, now, you just heard her say there's no difference, so there shouldn't be a
Well,
problem
obviously there's a
switching it over.
difference, we're gonna change it, so.
Exactly.
But that's not
The
what I
difference
said.
is,
But that's what you
That's
just
not
said in
even
front
what
of
I said. I
everybody.
said in the part that she's talking about, there's no
That's not what
difference.
you said.
And so
If-
to
It's on
confuse
record,
people
it's
and
on
make
video.
them think that that's the case, it's just unfortunate because
if,
it's not the case.
Why are
It's
you
not true.
fighting it so
if the
hard?
public,
You fought it last
Why
time. You fought it last time,
It's
three
not
times.
true.
Why-
It's
Three
not
times
true.
you stopped us from changing
It's
it.
not
Why,
true.
Commissioner Perez.
why
What you're
are
saying
you
is not
fighting
true.
it so
What you're
hard?
saying is not
Commissioner
true.
Perez.
Why are you fighting it
I'm
so
not.
hard? Yeah,
Commissioner
you
Perez.
did last
It's
time,
not
and you're
true.
doing it again.
okay, we have a motion on the floor
I
to,
haven't finished talking, okay? Remember the last meeting when I asked her to read the red line? She refused to read the red line, and now she's saying there's no difference, but why did she refuse to read the red
That
line
is
between
not
the two?
even the same item, what
It's
you're
not-
talking
it wasn't
about.
put
It wasn't
1902.
even the same
Commissioner
item.
Gonzalez,
Look,
no one in their right mind want to go back to where we were a year ago. And that's what you all are introducing.
Well, a
To
year ago,
put
you
us
made this
back
into a
in the
clown, you
position
made this
where
into
we
a circus.
were
Exactly.
for a year. And I don't think that would happen. I really don't.
It's not gonna happen during this commission. There's not gonna be no
No, it's
transparency.
it's funny
There's not
that he
gonna
says
be
that
no
we have to be in
answer.
order, but the last past year and a half, he had his family and friends up here being disrespectful, but now he wants to take order and kicking people out, but you can do that to your own family and friends. And you're a leader. Thank you.
There's a motion and second on the floor to add to our future agenda item, bringing back, I guess, a resolution or ordinance 2019-2.
02.
02. You ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes?
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
No.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
No.
Mayor Bab.
No.
I want to put another motion. I want to cancel, Mr. Lucas' contract with cost.
Don't hear a second on that, so that would fail for lack of second, even
No
for a
second?
vote. I don't
Y'all
hear-
heard it.
Right.
I got another motion. I want to cancel, Attorney Weeks' contract with cost.
Second.
This is for a future agenda item. Are there
You can do it now, man.
Any
Now we can
questions?
make it just out of-
Yeah, do it
Hearing
now.
none.
None of y'all gonna vote for it, but do it now, so be on record.
Are we voting on this motion? Yeah, that's what
Oh,
we're
yeah.
doing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes?
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolden,
No.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Nope.
Mayor Bab.
No. Okay. And we'll move to the next commissioner comments, and we'll move to Commissioner Mervin, Vice Mayor Mervin.
Mayor Bab, it's a disgrace of this meeting tonight. For commission, for citizens, and the point is, you have an order of your meetings. This agenda is no different from any other agenda, the order I'm talking about, when you go to any commission meeting. If you can go to the city council meeting in West Palm, the county, who represent Pahokee, Belglade, South Bay, this part, who's making decisions for you that none of us shows up for, you cannot get up there, I don't care what you hear, stand up in that commission meeting and say, I want to stop them from talking, calling them names. Not one. You hear a pin drop in the county meetings. And they are discussing us. And we're not nowhere to be in there. They're making decisions. They're of everything. But here you come. You calling, you don't have to like us, you don't have to like me, that's fine. But I don't have nothing against anyone. Nobody. But to get up here and call one ignorant, stupid, or what have you, that's very disrespectful. That's very disrespectful. I'm sorry. Thank you, ma'am. But the thing is, and it's sad that our commission here, we have a commission. And you really see, if you really see what's going on, you can really see what's going on. But anybody, when you got a commission that votes against an ongoing project, that's sad. That's sad. When you vote no, we have commission here that done voted no on approving the budget. That means that no one in the city, the city shuts down. The city shuts down. They keep talking about this word corruption. They don't look, they don't pull, they don't audit it. They haven't found anything. Not one thing of, if I could please finish my comments, please. I was quiet when you were making yours. Not one. They talk about paying the Mr. Perez, and I'm just gonna use this, of that we overlooked him, or he didn't get out a bid, or right now, this guy, he has the garbage contract, which probably, what, $47,000 a year. Then they say, why are we paying something that we had a bid for, we had a grant for? We also, don't forget, we paid another $47,000 to where I was not against, to Amelia Perez, on a storm cleanup that really was no storm. Okay, didn't have the receipts, didn't have no receipts on that, but we paid that, another $47,000. Now, let's go back to the Barfield project. When the Barfield project, I stated before, when we even had the groundbreaking of the Barfield project, all of us was there. Two weeks later, they fired the city manager, and she keeps saying that they wasn't fired. They fired the city manager. I have Adams' termination letter here where they fired Adams. They also, when the new city manager came aboard, can I please finish? I didn't call any names, please.
Who fired the
Who
fired Adams?
When you let me finish my comments, I will tell you.
No, say
when the new city manager came aboard, they hired, which is legal documents also in your court records, where it states that when they went through the courts, when the commission, some of the commission, and the new city attorney took some of the citizens to court. Where it shows documented in court records where the Sunshine Law, all of that stuff was broken. Okay, now, they hired a city attorney who was the city attorney, who was the city manager, who was the finance person, he was economic development, he was the IT person. They fired the AE, the engineer, they fired the IT, they removed the mayor from his post, they put a commission signature on all of I have the records of all the stuff that was not paid, that was not paid, that the city manager that was here previously said was paid. Nothing in the city was paid. Only contract pretty much was paid with employees.
No bills paid that he paid.
The employees and the garbage contract.
Speak the truth. Speak the truth.
If anybody wants documents, I have the documents where the bills was not paid.
So help you God. You're a church lady.
I have the documents. Can I please finish? I have the documents with the dates of the stuff being paid. So it's nothing but when you sit with the disgrace, you right now have Barfield Highway getting sidewalks poured, the curbs and all put in. I don't know what y'all look at, because I have lately been taking pictures every day on Barfield Highway where they don't put pouring the sidewalks. But for 1 year, when that project got started, 2 weeks later they fired the city manager on that project. The project stopped. You cannot sit here and say it did not stop. The previous city manager did not instigate not one project in the city. And another correction, he did not have to apply for ARPA funds. ARPA funds came directly from the state. He didn't have to.
Barfield Highway.
He did not have to apply.
We're growing on our new sidewalks. Okay, I'm gonna keep showing you. There, that's the picture because I just went like 2 days ago. See? There's the project. Now you're gonna see the pile of dirt. Now you're gonna see everything.
A commissioner from making a comment.
These are the pictures. They're live. I'm gonna put them on Facebook so you can see them.
The housing that was knocked down. We have committed voting against. These projects have not just started. These projects was here before they even got up here. But when they got here, they fired everybody. The project stopped. Here, I have a document of every project that was here.
Why does the minimum have to be called?
Same. The next outburst, you're gonna have to leave. Continue.
Any question or anything that you guys would want, there is public record for. You can get the documents for anything that you want. You can get the right answers for it. You can get where the funds went. It's all direct. And I keep telling people, people don't handle money.
Wait for the public record, because not even I as a commissioner get them. So sit down and wait. Ask for public records. See if you're gonna get them.
I got to take DEP.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it through the city. Keep going.
I'll let you go since you talk for all of us. Go ahead, Mayor.
Keep going.
We'll move with Commissioner Gonzalez next.
Okay. First question is, this goes to the city attorney. How many lawsuits are pending against Pahokee at the moment?
Any lawsuits would be handled by the Florida League of Cities insurance company, I'm not aware of any that we are handling at the moment. There may be some foreclosure things where we get money back, but other than that, I'm not aware of anything.
No lawsuits against Pahokee at the moment that you're aware of?
Yeah, there are lawsuits, but they're being handled by
How
the
many?
League of, I don't know. They're being handled by the League of Cities.
She
And
don't know. We
that
pay her
would,
to be
that
our
would be,
attorney,
no,
but
you're
she
not
don't
paying,
know.
you don't pay me to
We got
handle,
everything.
you do not pay me
We
to
got
handle,
Gemma
you do not pay, you do, let me say this. I did not ask, let me just say, let me set something real straight. I did not ask for Ms. Jamma. I can do that work. This was something you all wanted. You kept her on retainer.
They
She's
wouldn't
doing
ask
it.
you.
I don't
They wouldn't
care.
ask you.
I don't care.
Yeah, 'cause
And
you
so
can't.
the bottom line is yes, I
Yeah,
can.
you
Actually, I
can.
do it in
No, you
other
can't.
places. I've written
No,
agreements and
yeah.
stuff is out on the
Yeah,
street.
and look at
So you can
Commissioner
say
Perez.
things and you can make up things, but it's not true.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay.
So if the city wants to do
Yeah.
that, that's what they choose to do.
Yeah.
However, in the case of the insurance, you all pay for insurance. You all pay for, I will ask them for a claims report, and I can make sure I get it to you before the next meeting, and then you can do whatever you
It's
like, but I
legal,
can
you
ask,
should know
I can
about
ask
it.
and I will send it to all of you. But that's not something that we handle. It's not a part of our contract. You all pay the Florida League of Cities for that, and they now handle those cases. We used to, but after Mr. Brandenburg came in, he then contracted with the Florida League of Cities, and they have been handling those because I guess he didn't want to do that work. And that's fine, because we didn't get paid a dime extra, right?
Yeah, he
And we were,
did,
and
so
we were
he cannot
litigating
go.
and winning.
You cannot say.
And so at this point, I will get the list for you and I will give it to everybody, and you all will be able to see what cases are pending with the Florida League of Cities. Thank you.
Thanks. Next question is for the manager. Where are we at with the Henderson Fund status? How much do we have? How much have we paid back?
You don't know you.
The Henderson Fund with the cemetery,
Yes, sir.
I have to get with our senior accountant.
Gotta get with Susan.
Okay, next question. On East Lake's property, the one that they're gonna turn what to Chandler neighborhood or something right by where East Lake used to be at the school?
Chandler's Park.
Yeah, Chandler's Park.
And then they changed to
Where are we at with
Washington.
that? The company promised the city, the citizens, they're gonna put affordable housing. Last time I checked, it was on Remax for $4 million after we done changed the zoning. Could we reverse the zoning on that legally, attorney?
Could you reverse zoning
Yes.
on
Yes,
what?
ma'am.
On what?
On East Lake, that property on East Lake, which was supposed to be Chandler's Park, they named it Chandler's Park, just.
Well, it's a complicated question because first of all, you have a comp plan and your comp plan delineates what areas are and you set that out well in advance. There are some, you can make some zoning changes if they are appropriate for the area. So that's I can't just sit and answer that question. I'd have to see it, have to, understand what it is and how
Yeah.
it's set up and then get back with you. But
Right.
I can't answer that right now.
Right, because the whole purpose of rezoning it was to put affordable housing on there for the citizens. They agreed on that, and they tried to flip the land on Remax for $4 million.
That might be a question for your manager, or you may want to have the planner come in the next meeting if the manager chooses to allow him to do that.
They're not gonna
Attorney is
do that.
attorney's private property.
Yeah, but we're the ones that changed the zoning.
They paid for it, but it's private property.
Yeah, but we're the ones that made that decision based on they're gonna put affordable housing.
Can't make nobody put nothing on their property,
For
Ron.
how they paid for it.
Because I know I was part of Zappo and I voted
The
against it. I
people
was the
paid for
only one.
the people of the property paid for that fee, what it's supposed to
They
pay.
paid to have it brought up to the Zappo.
But that's
and for
their
us to go.
property, one. You got property
Right.
there. Can I make you do something on your
You
property?
don't see me asking you to change any
But I
zoning.
can't make you put something you don't want to
I
put
didn't make
there.
promises. I didn't make promises on my property.
Jesus, you cannot make no one put.
So you mean tell me
You
we
got
can
a
come
lot
up
of
here and
property, you
lie?
ain't doing nothing with it. Can I make you do something with it? You guys are stupid. Y'all some stupid
You had
people.
everybody, even the preachers coming in here because we were
yes, sir.
against
Commissioner
house
Perez, you had an order.
apartments for
You
the
had-
people in Pahokee.
You had your
We knew it was
opportunity
a
to-
And you
scam.
voted no on
Because we knew it was a
apartments.
scam.
Perez, Vice Mayor.
My God.
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you.
My last question would be for the city manager. In reference to the RV park, is there a way we can lower the RV park and the docks where the boats are at? Can we lower the prices down temporarily till we get some more amenities to help them out? Because we are, to me, I think they're being overcharged, and we hardly have anything out there to offer compared to other areas.
I have to bring that back for you guys.
Now, they voted on that with Thompson.
You know, you guys raised that price.
Well, yeah,
They
but
voted on that.
But Thompson didn't tell us everything. Thompson didn't tell us everything.
They voted on that with Thompson.
No,
They did.
Thompson changed the prices, but he didn't tell us everything.
We now move to,
They voted on that.
We would have had it fixed by now.
Yes,
We
sir.
didn't plan to pocket the money. We plan to use it.
Well, your Thompson is right now, he's talking about the thing, just, but your Greg Thompson, he's suing the city for over $100,000.
Yeah, because.
And for false, for what? For
You
what?
rescinded your vote.
For what?
Commissioner Bowden has
You're
the
the one
floor.
that gave him that lawsuit.
Jesus
So I don't know what
Because
you're
we fired
talking
him?
about. Because you talk too much, that's why.
Oh, God. Go ahead, Mayor Bass.
Commissioner Bowden.
Sorry, Mayor Bass.
What an eventful night, guys.
Sorry, Mayor Bass. I apologize.
You know, obviously, we have a lot of work to do. I think first and foremost, everybody has room for
They
improvement.
try to get
I
reelected.
think the first
That's
place to
what
look
they're
is ourselves, individually. We're adults, guys. Life doesn't always happen the way we want it to, and we can't always dictate the outcome of things, but a true indicator of maturity is, what do you do when things don't go the way you want them to?
Going with the flow. That's maturity.
Interrupting,
Yeah,
that type of thing
Yeah.
is disrespectful.
yeah.
But it's an indicator of where we are in terms of our maturity, but it's okay. Guys, feel like we can continue to make progress. A lot of people are happy with what they're seeing in the city, and we're not perfect, nowhere near it. We have a lot of work to do. This didn't start yesterday, last year, the year before that. This is 40 years. And I wish we had this level of enthusiasm 20, 30, 40 years ago. Maybe we would have been in a better place, but we can't do anything about the past. What we can do is search your own souls. We can search our own souls and really put Pahokee first, regardless of whatever disagreements, regardless of whatever conflict. Part of being an adult is working through those things. Not, standing firm on something to the degree that we're willing to allow the city to suffer, so that we can prove a point. Guys, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of educating to do. And nobody in this room is perfect. Nobody in this room does everything right. Nobody listening does everything right, all right? So there are gonna be some decisions made, there are gonna be some things done or said that we don't like, and that can be good or bad, it doesn't matter. What matters is we communicate with one another in a way that we come to a mutual understanding. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with my position. Let's understand and respect each other. That's what adults do. And we have a long way to go, all right? I think sometimes we get caught up in making our point. We don't realize that, the child is suffering too. You got two adults, and you have a child between them. And the child is suffering because the two adults are concerned about making their point, that they're willing to allow their child to suffer. And we need to take that same analogy when it comes down to the city of Pahokee, guys. We're gonna disagree on things. That's a part of it. That's what makes America great. It's not a dictatorship. But we do have rules in place, and I just hope that we can put this stuff aside and actually work together to make Pahokee a better place, a place where people want to be. All right? People can make all that. It amazes me that the things that we resort to when we're unhappy, name calling, all this other stuff, man, that is childish. It's childish. We're adults and we could be better than that. Not only are people that can contribute to our progress watching, some of our children are watching with their parents, and what they see is not a good example of adults working out their conflicts. we have to be better than that. Okay.
Thank you. I now entertain a motion for the adjournment of our meeting.
Second.
Do the
Like,
motion by Gonzalez,
yeah, I'd like to put a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
second by Commissioner Perez. Call for question. Hearing none. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.